What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Open Door Creative. Today, we're with the guy who saved a life and is about to be a father, Anthony Franzino.
How's it going?
So Anthony, this channel's goal is to empower people to get into advertising, but that starts with learning about people's story. So take us way back to your story of how you got into advertising. So where did it all start?
I didn't really start any art-related anything till pretty late in my senior year of high school. I didn't really think anything of it. Luckily, I had a pretty cool teacher who said, "You don't suck at this," and kind of give it a whirl. So I went into AP art, did a lot of fruit drawings, a lot of little colored pencil stuff, a lot of still lives.
Okay.
And I realized I could get into a better school than my actual grades through my portfolio. So I worked with him over the summer. Anyways, fast forward a little bit, got into Syracuse University, and my plan there was I'm gonna go into industrial design, and if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna just do history or I'm gonna do something else because I'm already in the school. They can't kick me out if I'm not good at art.
Yep.
So turns out I was actually fairly terrible at industrial design, which kind of gets me to my point of like, you know, at first, at first you don't succeed, try again. For me, it's like, if at first you don't succeed, try a tiny bit harder, and if you still suck, you should probably change your majors and start over. So I went into communication design, which is pretty much a mix of ad design and traditional graphic design, so I got like a nice mix of it. Graduated in 4 years, and then ended up going into advertising. I really like the company I'm working for, but they had a terrible interview process in the very beginning. When I graduated in 2008, they actually got my whole, or a lot of my class, so maybe there's like 8 or 10 people. They came in for like a speed dating thing, and everybody kind of lined up and people could go down to each one's
Which
stations.
Sounds awful.
It was terrible because you could hear the people to the left of you and to the right of you, and what their spiel was. You could tell if they're lying or not. But I just remember like vividly my roommate, who's also in the same major, a good friend of mine, he was like up in the corner, he's like high-fiving all the creative directors and like all those people looking at his
Crushing
book.
it.
Yeah, just totally crushing it, and like nobody was looking at mine. And so it was just kind of a really sad feeling, so I got out of there not feeling super pumped about it. Somehow it turned out that I got a job with a really good boss who then mentored me, and I went from a pretty sucky beginning to a pretty successful designer and advertiser.
So how was that mentorship like? If you can grasp onto a mentor, it's like super crucial to your success.
Yeah.
So what was that mentorship relationship like?
So little shout out to Jeff Pappas in our New York and Wilton office. He was just a really cool guy who understood that people go about their work in different ways, and he would, basically he said, you can come in at noon and leave at 3 p.m., but as long as you finished all your work and it was awesome, then he didn't care kind of how you went through your process.
That's awesome.
But he was really...
He's anti 9 to 5?
No, he kind of just made it as a point, is like, if you can get everything done in 3 hours and it looks amazing and it was like the best you could have done, then he's happy.
Yeah, and that also goes into the point where it's so interesting because advertising is a 9 to 5 job, but you even think of ideas after work at random times, and like, so don't always put so much pressure in yourself that you have to come up with the thing between 9 and 5, because you're technically, your mind's moving and stuff off the clock too, so don't feel like you're undervaluing yourself just if you have a bad day at work where you just can't think of anything.
Yeah, and like usually when you're first starting, everything takes a lot longer. I now make fun of new people because when they come in, they're just like ungodfully slow, but it's kind of a process that you learn through. But getting back to the mentor that helped me, he was really good at teaching you techniques, and he was all about, so he was really good at Photoshop and illustrating. He was all about layers. He was like, just keep building on top of what you got, and you'll get eventually to a point where you're like, okay, I actually did a little too much, and then you kind of take away some of those pieces. And he just had a really good eye, so it helped me get a really good eye, and then also take some of those teaching practices and do that to some of the younger people on the team.
Nice.
So that was the beginning.
Great. So that was you entering Tracy Locke.
Yeah.
So now you're an associate creative director, potentially about to be a CD, which would be awesome.
It'd be super sweet.
And so how did you kind of go through the ranks and get there?
It was kind of an unusual path. I bounced between art director and designer titles multiple times just because I went on different teams that needed different expertise. And so for me, I know one of your videos was the difference between art director and designer. For me, it's a lot different because there's so many connections, and I just see a good art director is a good designer, and a good designer is a good art director.
Yep.
You just kind of focus on different things. So me being able to bounce around to different brands and different ways of going about my work, I kind of developed a larger portfolio. So it helped me in the long run.
And what were some of the clients you worked on at the beginning?
I was on No Fear Energy, which was really interesting. Mountain Dew, Pepsi Sports, which was a ton of fun in the beginning. Then I went to Gatorade, worked on all their. It was actually an interesting period they did when they went to the whole G series, so we had a whole new line of products that weren't just the traditional.
With a new target market, right?
Yeah, new target market. And then I went back to Pepsi. Then I worked for the design team, which was like what is now called the Design Collective at TL, where I worked on all the brands throughout all the different offices.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, which kept things really interesting day in and day out. And then luckily, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but since I kind of developed a good rapport with a lot of creative directors, they let me work from home because my wife now moved to Boston, and I wasn't gonna let that go. So
how was that working from home?
It was awesome. It was back when I was a senior designer, so I didn't need to have any client interactions. I didn't need to have any formal presentation skills. I was more getting my assignments and helping some of the junior art directors via the phone if I saw something that was kind of a little wacky.
Yep. You had the cutest cube mate ever.
Oh yeah.
I
had a little Boston Terrier.
Yep.
Named Riley.
We're gonna put a picture right here for you. It's very important.
She would just chill with me all day while I was designing. So awesome 3 to 4 years working from home, but moved to Dallas. I think I was 24 at the time, and went back in the art director role. So I kind of kept going back and forth, but it's been really good. So
awesome, man. So for those looking to get into advertising, what advice do you have for them?
Is this my typical "don't blow it" kind of thing?
It's whatever you want it to be.
So I'll go to how I would like to hire somebody. So when we are looking at either fresh out of school people or somebody who maybe has a year on their resume, I typically like to go for the 3rd or 4th best in their class or out of the group, because
you don't like the all-star?
I don't like the all-star because they usually know they're the all-star, and they just are just not kind of awesome. So I like to go for the person that's just barely making it, because they end up really trying and really developing way past those prime people. Because sometimes when you pick the top of the class, they might have already peaked.
Yeah.
And you get these people that are just balling and awesome.
So you like the raw talent, potential, will put in the effort.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a selfish mentality.
Yeah, because the beginning's really tough. You're not given the most glorified assignments in the beginning. Nobody trusts you because you basically have no rapport with anybody.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of grind in the beginning, but the best people know that it's kind of a push-pull relationship with everybody you work with. So you're helping out your supervisor and manager and bosses, and they then rely on you, and you're pushing them up as they're pulling you up, and it's a really good relationship to have.
Yep.
But you have to have the mentality of hey, it's 3 a.m. and I'm still here, and this might be a sucky night.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, that's just sort of what you got to do, because then when your managers and creative directors see that effort, they're like, okay, we got a really tough assignment that we got to really crush. I'm going to call on this person, because I rely on them, and they put in the work, so
Yep.
I know that they're gonna put their best effort into it.
Yep.
Sorry, that was a little long-winded, but
No, that's great.
that's kind of how I would just say, just try really hard and take any assignment that nothing. If they give you a coupon to do that coupon, and
Make that the best coupon that you've ever
yeah,
done.
because you're not gonna get the broadcast spot in the beginning. It's gonna take you a while to do. So.
No, that's good advice.
Yeah.
So this is where I let you plug something. And I know that you're very competitive with your website views.
Yep.
So he's in his analytics.
He's been crushing me.
Yeah, my SEO is better, man. No, so yeah, hopefully you guys will check out his portfolio. It's really good, an amazing design portfolio. What is it?
It is my name. It's AnthonyFranzino.com, and I'm gonna get that Kevin bump. It's gonna be sweet.
Yep, so AnthonyFranzino.com. We'll put a link right here. We'll put one in the description, so be sure to check that out.
I'm gonna beat you this week.
Yeah, make him beat me this week. Do not visit my portfolio, just visit his. Scroll through every page, make it worthwhile. And that's what we have for you today. So appreciate you watching, and peace out.
Do I gotta do that too?
No.